it's Ali. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through all of my work experience up until graduating from UCLA and getting an offer with my dream company at that time. So I really just wanted to walk you guys through the kind of work that I was doing for these internships, and I'll also show you the resume that I used to apply to my dream job. Hopefully that can give you a bit of insight and hopefully save you a little bit of time. Let's just get started. Some of you guys have asked me what I did in high school. I was on the tennis team and I was on the badminton team, speech and debate. I also founded a startup my sophomore year in high school, and I did graphics for our school newspaper. I also started my fashion blog in high school. My last year of high school, I started working retail at Kate Spade at the Stanford Shopping Center, moving on to college. Honestly, when I was entering college, I didn't have a super clear idea of what I wanted to do. So I kind of went into college thinking I wanted a lot of active internships and work experience, but I wasn't super tied down to one particular path. So heads up on that.
Freshman year of college.
Freshman year, I joined a marketing fraternity called Pi Sigma Epsilon. That went on my resume. I was also still running my fashion blog and worked with a few more brands freshman year of college, including Adidas and Banana Republic and Pottery Barn and a couple of other brands. That was also something that I put on my resume. While I was rushing my marketing frat, I actually got a part-time job as a sales associate at Armani in Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles. Probably worked like 20 to 30 hours a week for about 4 to 5 months at Armani. It is more of a retail type of experience, which is not necessarily what employers are looking for internships. Freshman year, I wasn't too involved internship-wise. This is what my freshman year resume looked like.
So now it's summer before sophomore year.
Sophomore year, I studied abroad in Korea. I went to Yonsei. I interned for a small fashion company called Kiklu. There's about 6 people in that company, and the office was in Garosu-gu, which is like this hip, trendy downtown part of Seoul. My best friend was also interning there. We'd get lunch with all the other Korean coworkers. It was really fun. That was one of my favorite internship experiences, and that was a paid experience.
I competed in a pageant that summer, which is something that I put on my resume for a few months.
Sophomore year.
I also had a few prominent internships sophomore year. One was a remote internship for a startup app called MXO. I did a lot of random things for that role. I got that internship through a good friend of mine who kind of like recruited me to work on it, mostly remotely, but I would meet with my friend and go to events in person. The app wasn't really going anywhere, so I kind of started looking for new internships at that point. That's when I saw a Facebook posting for an 88 Rising internship, and I was like, dope. I applied to that. Okay, I'm so sorry for any chirping in the background. I was like obsessed with 88 Rising. I have this theory that I think these birds are like really lonely during quarantine, so they're probably hearing me talking right now and they're all flocking over. I'll just keep on talking and hopefully you guys can hear me over the chirping. It looks like they are here to stay, so. Anyway, I was already obsessed with 88 Rising, so when I saw the post, I jumped on it and I got the internship. I was a creative intern, so I helped out on a lot of brainstorming for like their Facebook videos. They were still really underground at that point. It ended up being kind of like a remote freelance internship, and that one was unpaid. I kind of decided after that music industry wasn't really my thing. At this time in my marketing frat, I had a little. He ended up inviting me to partner with him to help Alibaba in China move one of their ideas over to the Los Angeles market. That was sort of unpaid as well. I mean, there was a stipend for it. They also flew us out to the conference, and it wasn't really an internship. It was more of like a project, like an ad hoc project that we were doing. So there was 4 or 5 months of hard hustle on that. Our whole team went to the conference together. It was their Gateway 2017 conference in Detroit. It's one of those things on my resume that I feel like doesn't really stand out at first, but then employers are always really, really intrigued by it when I do start explaining it.
And now it's the summer before junior year.
Junior year summer is kind of like the gold internship time where everyone and their mothers pretty much have a solid internship lined up. I unfortunately did not have an internship lined up, partly because I was just so busy with that Alibaba project. I just didn't even have time to think past summer at that point. We were just scrambling to complete that project and have it delivered by the conference. Also partly because I needed 2 more classes, Econ 11 and Econ 41, to get into my major. I knew that I was going to stay in LA that summer and just grind out those 2 classes. But I did have a plan to get an internship when I returned to the school year in fall. That summer, I had a car in LA and was doing a lot of side casting, acting work in LA. That was definitely a really busy summer, even though I didn't have an internship.
Junior year.
Fall, I get back to school, I start applying for internships. I start thinking that I want to do consulting or I want to be an analyst of some sort. And I took on more of like a banking type of resume. So I took on this resume format for the later years of college. Although my experiences were all over the place, I never really had a problem telling a clear story about my experiences. It just takes a lot of practice and a lot of thinking about it before your interviews. There was one internship that I got back. I kind of had an idea that, I don't know, something just kind of spoke out to me about this internship. It was for an asset firm in Los Angeles that was managing portfolios for clients. And I did some sample projects for them over email, and then I got that internship. I became an investment analyst for Chantico Global. And it was a paid internship, and that was my favorite internship in all of college. Her office was in Century City. Outside of downtown LA, it's kind of like the second financial center of LA. Having an internship that's like less than 10 minutes away from you is just like the best thing that any broke, time-crunched college student could ask for. My boss was also a CNBC guest anchor. I ended up serving as a media intern for her like about half a year into my role. Whatever topics CNBC sent her to talk about that day, I would get up really early, research it, look at what different investors and portfolio companies were saying about the stock, put out a bullet point list of bear and bulls for certain stocks before she went on air to give her opinion on those stocks. I ended up working there for 2 years, loved every hour of it, and that was probably what I talked about the most in my interviews. It was just the most topical. I was working on that for the longest time in college, all throughout junior and senior year, which is when I was doing most of my recruiting. Junior year, I also interned for a fashion blogger as just kind of like an assistant. So I was just helping her take photos, I was helping her plan content, helping her do PR outreach. So that was another internship experience. I founded a social media club at UCLA, SMC at UCLA, which is Social Media Consulting Club. And that's actually something that employers also ask me a lot about in my interviews. Junior year summer, I applied for an internship at AlphaSights and I didn't get an internship. And I was pretty sad about that, but I ended up getting an internship at DBSchenker in Shanghai. And it's a German logistics and freight operations. I really wanted to try working abroad again. And I wanted to try interning in Shanghai this time. Hi guys, so I got off the plane to Shanghai yesterday and today is my first full day in Shanghai. I'm actually starting my internship today. I'm doing global supply chain management at a German company called DBSchenker. So I'm just got prepared for work and I'm just about to go grab my bag and head to the subway station. It was like my first real structured corporate internship, but it was all in Chinese. In terms of the work, I didn't enjoy it that much. It was a lot of Excel work. I was learning how to use SAP. I ultimately was not a huge fan of the logistics space. At that time is when I applied to AlphaSights and I actually got my full-time offer. And this is the resume that I applied to AlphaSights with. That summer, I was still working for Chantico, which got really difficult because of the time zone difference. Oh, and junior year summer, 88 Rising actually came back to me. They were doing their whole Heads in the Clouds campaign for upcoming concerts and tours. So when I was in Shanghai, I was helping with some of the strategy and coordination.
Senior year.
Senior year, I came back to college and I was able to finally put a bit more time into my blog, and I also continued interning for Chantico.
I forgot to mention this when I was filming, but I became a UCLA ambassador for Bliss.
So this quarter, I am a college ambassador for Bliss, part of their brand new college ambassador program.
I had my full-time offer at this point, but I was still recruiting and looking for other opportunities on the side as well.
Are Micromagic and their Soothing Rose Gold Toner Spray.
My resume took a couple of different variations throughout college. I didn't go into college knowing exactly what I wanted to do, and then towards the later half of college I decided that I wanted to work for AlphaSights. I think the key thing, if you have a variety of experiences, is being really clear in how you tell your story and clearly weaving together all your experiences and skills. You have to really weave together that story and go into your interviews knowing why you sought those opportunities, what they taught you, and how it exactly relates to this current role that you're interviewing for. I know it's sometimes interesting just to hear about what other people did in college, what kind of work experiences they had, and I feel like that's not like a super common conversation. So I thought it would kind of be like an interesting topic to do, and I don't know if it was valuable, but hopefully you guys found it entertaining or interesting, or that it helped you gain some clarity on what to do in terms of your own resume. I actually have a couple more internship and college related videos. Before I move back to my typical content on travel vlogging and lifestyle and beauty, hopefully y'all are finding these videos helpful. I actually graduated from college already a couple of months ago, which is why I'm not gonna do too many more videos on this topic, but if you guys ever have any questions about these topics, I will try my best to help you out in whatever situation that you have questions on. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.